I'm just saying. I'm not even an anti-Vaush guy. I like Vaush in general. Like 95% pro Vaush. This is the 5% that I really just do not like, though. Like it really, and it's, I don't know why. Apparently, I'm streaming this on a day when H3H3 did a thing, and I didn't watch that, so it's not about that. It's actually about sort of the Paul's Ego drama. I don't know what that is. Paul's Ego is a miser and a doomer, and I wish that he would get help or something like that. I don't know. He's just such a doomer. The guy is a bad time to be around. I don't even not like Paul. It's just like he cannot help himself but be a bad time to be around. I like TJ enough. We don't hang out or anything, but TJ is fine. He's certainly gotten better over the years. He's a bit of a doomer as well, and certainly edgy, but it is what it is. Is Scotty the other one? I don't know who's here today. Scotty is fine. Scotty's Scotty. I actually am not going to watch. I'm not going to watch this whole fucking thing. I'm just going to watch the beginning of this. I don't know if I have this exactly right. Sarah was actually watching this, and she was taking a pee, or she was in the bathroom doing something. I don't know. Doing her makeup. I don't know. But I heard her from the living room like go, "What?" And I was like, "What? What's going on in there?" And she said, "You have to watch this on stream." So here I am watching this on stream. It starts at 20 minutes or it ends around 25 minutes. Because it hasn't started by this 5-minute mark, because I scrubbed for it. Yeah. Especially after last night. Yeah, I know, right? We did a secret stream, and we hung out a little bit, and it was funny. It was topical. You'll see. But so we'll let this sort of percolate a little bit. He's just reacting, but he's going to start having a conversation with chat. It ends around 25 minutes. Okay, I want to know when it starts, though. You know? That's not very helpful, baby. I mean, it's not helpful. I know that it's not that long, but I do know. I thought you were gonna. You don't remember? Okay. Well, we're gonna scrub, but we'll find it.
Probe pretty much any war project that America's got going.
Yeah. He went over the first 5 minutes of this is Vaush going over like what the sections are in this video, I guess.
True.
I don't care about it though.
Anti-music thinks music is a total waste of time and like a brain drain, you know?
Okay, so this is the topic. Here it is.
Okay.
Who am I talking about?
All right, so that sounds like a nothing thing. We're going to move on to a real topic, right? Nope. Vaush is going to talk about how music is not bad, but he has a bad take on music here. But it's like a broader thing, though. Like, it's a broader indictment on his personality. Oh, here we go.
Rush Limbaugh or Vaush?
Rush Limbaugh or Vaush?
That's pretty true.
Why does the radical left
Vaush?
sound like Rush Limbaugh from 15, 20 years ago?
Is Rush Limbaugh anti-music? Is that a position that he has? Am I anti-music? I was listening to Get Low in the shower while I was getting ready for stream this morning.
Like Lil
You do
Jon,
say some
like Lil Jon and the Boys? That song?
weird shit about music. I saw a clip of you saying you can't critically engage. No. People like to interpret what I say really uncharitably there. And to be honest, this does bother me a little bit.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Here's the thing about Vaush. So I don't watch the content ever.
Cool.
It's not because I have a distaste or anything. I just don't watch anyone's content. I just don't watch a lot of YouTube. To the window, to the wall. I'm the lefty anarchist, today because of music. Yeah, I think so. Music is very influential. We listened to Godspeed for You, Black Emperor. Or Godspeed You, Black Emperor last night. Anyway, that's literally the thing he said. It's the thing he's about to say more of.
All I was saying was that if I'm like looking at people on dating profiles and I'm trying to see what their interests are, I wouldn't know what to say or how to talk with a person whose like primary interest was music. You can't listen to music together with a person and have the same kind of extensive conversations or opinions on it the way you can with a movie because, and I'm really sorry to tell you guys this, and I know a lot of you are going to be triggered by it, a movie has more overlapping elements to engage with than music.
Bad take. Terrible take. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Hello? Why can't you just be normal? What is wrong with you? I can't talk about music. What do you mean you can't talk about music? You can't have an extensive conversation. Yes, you can. Chekhov's shower playlist. Remember, that's an important clue. Like, what do you even listen to? Name your favorite band or something? Like, do you just not listen to anything? This just sounds like totally ignorant. This is the fucking thing, right?
Have a fantastic day.
If you don't listen to music and you're just like, yeah, I don't know, I didn't get into music a lot when I was a kid. I just, not that. Dread Pirate Robots takes 22 months. Vaush listens to video game OSTs. Well, apparently...
My corn is so moist that it's actually dripping.
Apparently he has no opinions on those or why he likes them. Like, ever heard of, like, Anthony Fantano, bro? Friend of the show. Sosaurus, I put it on YouTube as an unlisted... Wait, what are you talking about? Oh, okay. Sure. Amon Gardner. As a music head with over 1,000 vinyl, what? Oh, I see. It's a ticky-tick-tock. Logarth, Vaush is steel manning so much here he's growing a red cape and an S on his chest. Is he steel manning? I hope he does. He is entirely wrong. Yeah, this is just stupid. This is a thing he does though. He's gonna go on to debate his chat and like get really mad about this. It's like weird.
Obviously, movies contain music plus other things.
Okay.
It would be
there's more to experience in a movie than there is no, there's not. There just isn't. It's like just different kinds of art. It's like saying that you can't talk about a book a lot or something. Like, would you be like, no, books are like movies but paper, Okay, a short story. I don't know. Like how long is it until it's fucking not comparable or whatever? Like, can I go to a gallery or can I enjoy any art? Is it just music? I don't believe that you would have the same take about stuff you're into. It just sounds like he's not into stuff, and he's like, well, you can't talk about that. It's obvious. It's obvious you can't talk about this thing. Music contains poetry. I mean, literally, music is. We could talk about music forever. I could talk about a single album for hours and hours. Give me the chance to talk to you about In Rainbows, okay? Give me the chance. There's actually a really great music channel. This video, this is one of my favorite. This is such a good music channel. Michael Palmisano. He's a dorky guy. I don't watch him a lot. This is a video called I Finally Get Radiohead. Cool. And I swear to God, this is like the dorky shit where I'm talking about. There's entire YouTubes about this.
The entire From the Basement set is epic, but I just love the emotion and simplicity of this song. Enjoy the journey, brother, and thank you.
You should watch this video. If you like music, you should watch this video. Just keep it in your tab or something. It's just like even if you don't like Radiohead, it's just a good video. It's why it has almost 1 million views. This is a good video. Anyway, I love talking about music. There's so much to talk about with music because it's deeply interpretive, right? It's maybe one of the most interpretive forms of art. Like there are artists that do concept albums and they'll have lyrics, and when asked about them, they won't tell people. Because that's the point. Like they want people to sort of fucking vibe with it and find meaning in it themselves. It's cool. Music is deep within our monkey DNA, man.
Like if a person...
How do you like Tom York's solo stuff more than Radiohead? What? That doesn't make any sense to me. Have you listened to The Smile? It's also very good. Also Tom York Project.
On a dating profile said they like looking at paintings. Obviously looking at paintings is like a fully like that's a fully valid and engaging way to work with art. But like if that was a person's primary hobby, looking at paintings, like do they just sit in their computer chair and like look at painting? Like I don't mind looking at paintings. I love going to the museum or art galleries or whatever. But then do I if we're like hanging out, do I just like sit next to them and like look at the paintings? Like I could talk about that, but
do you think so? I don't think looking at paintings is what being an art appreciator is. You know what I mean? Like artists exist and people who collect art and just appreciate art historians. Like these are all people that exist. They're deeply passionate about different facets of art. Some of them are interested about the people that do the art. Some of them are interested in the art itself. Some of them are interested in the conservation of different pieces of art. Like And these are all different things that they have interest in. This is part, you know, you mean look at art. Well, you just look at pictures all day? What the fuck are you talking about, man? Do you really think that someone whose hobby is art is look at picture all day? How is this the way he thinks? He's a smart guy. What the fuck is happening to his brain on these types of topics? I don't get it. Like, literally rock bottom understanding of how human. This is why people don't like the guy. It's stuff like this. Also the weird relationship he has with chat. It's like so toxic. I don't disagree with him on politics though. I don't know why. Why is he like this?
I don't know.
It's the arrogance. Yeah, dude. It gets more arrogant.
I feel like there's a little less to work with conversationally. Maybe music and paintings feel like more of an internal, emotional. Yeah, this is a bad take. No, it's not. No, you people are insane on that. You
people are insane. My entire chat is actually wrong about this thing when we're talking about enjoyment of music. This is not. It's debate bro environment. Yeah, he just wants to debate his whole chat. Listen to the way he talks.
People are insane on this. I can say the most because you're all engaging with this like on an internal level, and you're thinking like, well, I've had deep emotional experiences with music. I'm not talking about your emotional experiences.
Hear me out. It doesn't have to be emotional to just like fucking vibe. Maybe it is, I guess, at some level, but like, it isn't. Also, it's like more. It's more like that's borderline amygdala. Fucking like it's just got a thump in my soul, and I just gotta move my body. You know what I mean? Like it's way deeper. Music is so much deeper than that. It's past emotions. It's in us, man. We just like the thump. We like the groove, the boogie. I don't know what it is. It's in our bones, man. And like, what do you talk about music all day? Go on music YouTube for 2 seconds just to experience like part of the culture. Music Twitter is vibrant, like, you know, obviously just people in general liking music in their own communities. But I cry at music all the time, dude. I don't cry at movies. Music can make me cry for sure. Not that I'm just like, you know, oh, big tough guy. I don't know. It takes a lot for a movie to make me cry. I'm more likely to cry because someone else is crying at the movie than to cry at the movie itself. There are a few movies that can get me, though. I feel like Big Fish got me once because I have daddy issues. And then, what was the other one? Dude, there's definitely one that made me cry. Sarah crying during Barbie was really emotional.
I'm talking about talking with another person. Yes, you can. I feel like...
Talking about talking with another person. It's crazy you've never had a conversation about music with anybody. I could talk about music with everybody.
I feel like I should just ban all of you. If for no other...
I feel like I should just ban all of you. What a weird vibe.
Reason than because no effort is being made to actually engage with what I'm saying. I think I'll just do that. There we go. Oh, it's going to be a lot of people. It's going to be a lot of people. Oh, yeah. Ooh, there we go.
I know this is sort of part of the chat thing. Like, he bans people temporarily for a time, and that's, like, funny or something. But it's, like, weird to me, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it's sort of a bit, but he's also being a baby, yeah. Like, he doesn't like being disagreed with en masse like this. Instead of just being like, wait, why am I wrong, chat? Instead of being like, wait, why am I wrong about this? He's saying, no, you're all fucking wrong about this one thing. It's one thing, okay? To have, usually the only time you get to do this is if you're making a personal, like... No, chat, this is my opinion. Like I don't know. Like, I have a hot food take that this is good or bad or something. He's having, like, a broad, you can't either. You know what I mean? He can say about himself that I don't know how to talk about music, but he's saying nobody can talk about music. What do you mean you can't just fucking have conversations about music? You know what I mean? Yes, you can. You can have deep conversations for way more than, I like music, listen to this music with me. Seriously, his playbook is so single-minded and predictable.
Anyway, I'm correct on this. We've done this whole thing before, and the problem is that people get really emotional about music and art generally because
it's emotional. Why does it have to be emotional? It's not like it's barely emotional to say that you're wrong about this. It's just like it's more of like you said the sky was green, and everyone's like it's blue usually. No, that's still blue. That's blue, bro. Are you colorblind? Like they're not emotional. They're like what, man? So, side eye? It's Not emotions. You're emotional. You're that's projection. You're the emotional one. He's 100% emotional here.
That's fine. It's an emotional work. So as a consequence of this, people get like so defensive that they don't engage with anything that I'm saying. After the last time we talked about this, basically everyone in chat ended up agreeing with me, but it took like 2 hours of massaging the hurt egos of people who don't have a personality outside of liking a given band. Go.
Outside of liking a given band. Every person that's mad at me only likes one band, and they're just band stands for that thing. They also are in my chat, and we talk about various topics all the time, but that's the one thing the people who disagree with me about this, who is my whole chat, that's their whole life right now. Like, what man? This is dumb. These are deeply strawmen. You know what I mean? And I'm defending the Vaush chat here. The entire Vaush chat should back me up on this. He is strawmanning each last one of you. I don't know why. This is so silly. It's so weird to be upsetty spaghetti about this, my dude.
I'm really sorry, guys. But if you genuinely think that, like there's no underlying truth or like point to what I'm saying, then you're off on this. Like, listen, I understand what you mean, Vaush, but I think you're not really understanding how deeply you can appreciate music. There are YouTube channels dedicated to this shit. Missing the point, banned. All for one day. You can come back later.
I hope you have a fantastic
Unironically.
You can come back later. Quebec, I think you want to Cornelia.
Read some music theory, banned. Missing the point. Not difficult. Vaush musicians do this all the time. I'm not a musician. Why would I, if on a dating profile, want to engage with a person on the basis of what a musician would like to do?
How did the fucking... What? What is this called when you do this? What is this? Outside of politics and video games, everybody likes bad video games too, okay? Right, this is just a terrible vibe. Why? Why you like this? He's literally only thinking about his own interaction with this? But that's not what he's saying, though. He's not saying that.
Vaush, do you know about music theory? You can go very banned. Literally, none of you listened to what I said. Vaush, you can connect with people over music so easily. Didn't say you can't. Banned. Nothing gets me more than people not actually listening to what I say and getting angry at an imagined version of the thing that I said.
Okay.
But music...
Okay, he must reiterate his thing. What is he please reiterate what you said. Because every time these people are... Every single person, they essentially want an interest forced out or forced share and still be magical. What? I'm trying to read his chat to see... Yeah, I'm amazed how chat doesn't get it, says a guy who definitely doesn't get it. So... He's saying, well, I don't know how to talk to is it just a personal thing now? Have we moved to just now it's personal? Because earlier he said you can't. You just can't have conversations with people. What do you mean? Do you just mean yourself then? Because Paul's ego, the whole reason this happens is because Paul's ego said you think music is like a waste of time or something, which is like definitely a thing you said.
Music is much more personalizing. Banned. Nothing to do with what I said. Ban me, I'll take one for the team. Banned. Vaush, I think this might be an autism thing. Probably, but also banned. Vaush is right.
It might be an autism thing. God. I don't know. I know a lot of autistic people that can talk about music and like music and just fine. Like, I don't know. He thinks you can't connect deeply on music, or just you can't.
Just sitting there listening to music in silence as a date is weird. I think you can do that. I don't know if you could do it for like 2.5 hours the way you could with the movie. I mean, you can, but I think it's a little less common. People.
Do you see what he's like? He's not. It's so weird when he gets pushback. He turns it into like that's not what I said, but then he goes on to explain that's exactly what he's saying. These people are getting no. You're not being misconstrued. You're saying that you just don't feel like it's viable to have a relationship where you talk about music a lot or something. Like that's a very core interest of yours. You can't have music enjoyment as a core facet of your time spent together, and that's just so stupid. I have literally done this.
Go.
What's with the bands? This is wild. This is what I take about music. Yeah, I don't know.
People in chat are going to pretend it's not less common. People in chat are going to be like, no, actually, it's just as common to sit and watch music in silence for 2.5 hours as it is to watch a movie. That's just as common. It's just as common to do that. And me too. Okay.
It's just as common. Now wait, what? Is this Goalposts or Mott and Bailey? So now it's not very common to sit and listen to music together, which is untrue, of course. It is common for people to listen to music together. Sarah and I also listen to music together all the time, and it's not even a thing we have thought about before. Like, it just happens. Now I will think about sharing my interest in music. It will now be on my mind. The one rule of Vaush chat: agree with and praise the Vaush, you shall be shunned. That's right. Montangoli. I think it's hard to vibe with someone with extremely difficult music tastes. Yeah, I guess, yeah. It's an extra level to the Mott and Bailey. It's a Mott and Bailey, but inside the Bailey is another Mott, and behind that Mott is another Bailey. Inside the original Bailey. You feel me? You think it's just a non sequitur? No, but it's not. He's making the argument more refined. Like, he's saying when you press him on the thing he says, he's going, well, it's because listening to music isn't as common as people going to the movies together. Which actually, I don't think that might be true. I think people listen to music together constantly. I think it's so ubiquitous that we don't consider it an event we do together. You literally do it in the car every day if you're with someone else almost. Can't sit in silence and listen to music if there's music. Yeah, I often think about my relationship and what music I have learned from folks. Yeah, your relationships.
Vaush, it's really just a you problem. I think I've never heard anyone say this. It's not really a me problem. I'm not talking about any sort of personal opinion thing. The fact that music has less layers to engage with than a movie is pretty much objective.
Fewer. That's also objective. No. No. You're wrong. So do you see what I mean? Like, when I asked, when we were like, hey, is it just a personal thing? He just got asked that, and then he said, no, you can't engage with music in a way that you would with a movie, because movies are audiovisual and can include music. The trump card is a book that features lyrics, like Lord of the Rings. It features lyrics to songs, but you don't actually know the musicality of the song due to the structure of the lyrics. So it's all deeply interpretive. There are technically infinite songs in Lord of the Rings, which means it's it's the thing you can talk about most of all, or something. That's the thing you should be the most, according to my social mathematics on my dating profile, Lord of the Rings books are the most optimal thing to like and discuss when going on dates. Does Vaush not see this in his mind when he hears see things in his mind? Well, he might not be a synesthete, Spongy Lord.
Vaush, I think it's a good take, but it doesn't really only apply to music. Wouldn't it be hard to talk to a movie snob / expert about a movie? Well, we're not talking about the level of expertise. We're just talking about how much material is being provided. Obviously, if you're watching a movie or a TV show, this is an incredibly complicated and multi-layered piece of media. It's multimedia, literally, right? So you have narrative and character stuff, and you have the writing, and then you have music, and you have there's so much stuff that goes into it.
Right. Yeah, he keeps saying essentially that music is less complicated. Like, the construction of a song is less complicated than the creation of an episode of NCIS. It's literally a field of science, Vaush. Music psychology, yeah. What I hate is how he makes a personal opinion of his sound like it's an objective fact, and then he gets mad and says you misinterpreted him calling it a fact. Right. This is just super dumb.
Music just being one part of it. So, of course, being multi-layered, there's more ways to engage with it. Much in the same way that there's an entire universe of thought and experience that goes into paintings. But if you just sat and
literally contradicting himself,
watch that with somebody, watching music on its own literally is like looking at a pretty image on its own, in that it's a totally valid and cool thing to do. But I would have trouble making that the primary shared experience with another person. Maybe
music, just spending time and listening to music together and talking about music. This is nuts. And then through that, you personally having a hard time wanting to talk about music with somebody means that you say nobody else can have big conversations about music because you like movies better. That's so stupid. And then when everybody keeps saying that's what you're saying, you're like, no, that's not what I'm saying. And then you reiterate and you say that. How do you not realize you're doing this? I don't understand why you're this way. You could simply choose to be fine and normal. Why? There's no reason to go down this path. He has whole streams just talking about fashion. Right. Which is, of course, a form of art he appreciates now, right? Art and expression that he appreciates, now he can talk about it, doing whole streams. Insane, dude. Vaush has contracted VDS. Jesus.
If I was at a concert or an art museum or something like that, then that's...
But not in the car listening to the music that we would listen to at the concert.
Kind of like a venue specifically designed to, you know, to maximize the sort of engagement there. Have you taken any art history class? Yep, 2 of them, and honors. And I went to the extracurriculars. Thank you.
Damn, bro. That's cringe. That was cringe. Like...
Yeah, I went to Music Theory 101 and 102, thank you. With honors for my associate's degree.
Cool. I have also taken I don't think I took a music class. I took a film class for one of my elective like humanity things. I don't remember what it was. But I got to pick from a bunch of classes that sounded lame and the one that sounded cool. I watched Citizen Kane. I also had honors. Made the dean's list that year. So I'm an authority within the Tri-Valley area of Michigan when it comes to music theory and movies.
What do you think about the way music impacts society? That's a pretty broad question. Music's cool.
Music is cool. This guy.
I don't think you can get this point across better than you already have so far. Yeah, it's just really, oh man, I don't mind people disagreeing with me. It's just sometimes like I can hear like the clicking going off in somebody's brain or in all of chat's brain collectively, especially with emotionally impactful stuff like music, because obviously it's art, right? So it hits you right in the brain heartstrings. And people,
I have no idea why this is what he's saying. No, it's because the take is bad. It has nothing to do with emotions. What a fucking cope. This is stupid. You guys watch this? Is this how he is a lot? Does this happen a lot? Why? Let's be normal. Look at the Wikipedia page. They have a whole subfield dedicated to the study of different cultures and how they affect one's... Well, he'll say that you're being emotional. This is emotional. The neuroscience evidence suggests that memory for music is at least part special and distinct from other forms of memory. The neural processes of music memory retrieval share much with the neural processes of verbal memory retrieval, as indicated by functional magnetic resonance imaging studies comparing the brain areas activities during each task. Both musical and verbal memory retrieval active in the left inferior frontal cortex, which is thought to be involved in executive function, especially executive function of verbal retrieval, and the posterior middle temporal cortex, which is thought to be involved in semantic retrieval. However, musical semantic retrieval also bilaterally activates the superior temporal gyri containing the primary auditory cortex. So as you can see, case closed, Your Honor.
People like don't listen to anything that I'm saying, and they just run off with it, you know? Yep, the essay posting. Weren't we supposed to watch Paul's ego be emotional? Well, we're now watching chat be emotional.
I really don't think we're watching chat be emotional. I definitely feel like Vaush is the most emotional individual in this saga. It's by a long shot, too. That annoys me. This annoys me. Why?
Definitely not me. I'm totally emotionally detached. There's no way that I'm involved in this at all. What are your thoughts on watching music videos? Why?
Was he lampshading there, or is he?
Think I'm against watching music videos? Music videos are cool. Wait, what do you? What again? Like people ascribe like the weirdest positions to me. Like people unironically act like I don't think music is art or something. Like some Ben Shapiro ass. Like come on, guys. Vaush, you're doing a Mott and Bailey. Your original claim was framed much more contentiously. That I'm not doing a Mott and Bailey at all. My position has stayed consistent this entire time.
I don't think you're doing a Mott and Bailey until you read someone's criticism and then you do that. Come on. We just watched it happen like 3 times. I don't know. It's pretty dumb, though.
If you ascribed a bunch of stupid bullshit that you interpreted to my original position, And now, upon further clarification, you feel that I'm being disingenuous for not being as dumb as you uncharitably thought I was. That.
Oh my god. The Hopium Wojak, except the tube is connected to his own ass, so he can huff his farts.
I hope you have a fantastic day.
Wow. Lily loves us. Thanks for Prime. Why do the vibes have to be like this, man? Why can't you just be a cozy little fella?
That's on you.
It's on you, dude.
Vaush, I study art history, and I think you're kind of right. Unless you both are really into paintings or music and go super deep into analysis, there's not that much to talk about. Yeah, there is a reason why going to the theaters to watch a movie is a far, far more common date or hangout thing than like, I don't know, like going to a museum.
I mean, not really. He is the music snob. Yeah, this is just snobbery or something. Like, it's just so silly. So, the popularity of, like, the film industry, if you want to say that, like, I guess I just don't know how movies involving more of your senses makes them more profound inherently, right? Like, could you watch, you ever seen Super Sucker? Me either. It's got like a 1 star on IMDb or something. I actually have started Super Sucker, but I shut it off and didn't continue it because it was just stupid. It's a story of a man who steals a vacuum or something, a vacuum patent. It's really dumb. Do you think that has like more to say than like Jeff Buckley's fucking? What was that? What's Jeff Buckley's album? What's that called? What a great album. Grace. Oh, man. Have you ever listened to Mojo Pin, bro? Okay, that's all I can play legally. Jeff Buckley's Ghost will come after me if I do any more. But, like, seriously, though? You know what I mean? I do not get it. There's just, like, an argument from, like, counting number of senses equals better, I guess. Okay, video games are even better than movies then. And, actually playing music is even better than just listening, I guess. Can you do that? That involves all your senses.
And even that's not really the same, too, because a museum or a concert are like very specific curated venues. I guess it would be more like queuing up a bunch of images on your computer to look at.
Listening to music is not akin to pulling up images on your computer, I guess. I mean, maybe. Making it sound like, I don't know. Just not what it is. It's just a straw man of, I think everybody knows that music is not like Google image search, you know?
Wait, people just sit and listen to music in silence?
That said, I mean, I Google image search more, you know, for like inspiration for like D&D and stuff, and it's always nice.
I understand doing it on one's own, but as a date, that can be cool, right? It's not really my thing, but I get that. I'm just saying there's less to talk about with that than there would be with a movie. Like on average.
Listen to music in silence. The silence is deleted by the music, in my opinion.
And people, when I say that, people are thinking what I'm saying is there's less involved effort, or well, of course there's less involved effort than a movie. Movies are insanely difficult to make, obviously. And they take like thousands of people or whatever. But yeah, on average, less so. You see Vaush is racist because he's saying he doesn't like rock and roll. True. Vaush, this feels like an example of you not having much musical interest or skill. I have long conversations with my girlfriend all the time about specific songs, techniques, different riffs being played, the mix, etc. You're exactly what I'm talking about. If you having a specific interest, do you think that's broadly applicable? Like,
yeah, he just keeps doubling down. It is the take he has. He's just saying, like, royally, the bulk of you can't have meaningful conversations about music. And then when someone says, yes, I can, he goes, you're a little tiny exception to the rule. You're not actually normal. Everybody else that isn't you is the normal ones. And then it's a cycle of him going through this.
This is what made me scream. When I watched this the first time and I was like, you need to watch this. He did this with weed. He does this thing where he makes a broad statement where he's like, he'll say, you just can't bond over music the way you can over movies. And then someone goes, actually, yes, I can. And he goes, you're the minority. Shut up. I wasn't talking about every single person, actually. But, like, I know more people who bond over music than movies. So it's just a fucking, like, where's your stats, man?
Provide me a study. Ooh, it's self-evident. It actually isn't. That's the disagreement. Most people seem to disagree with you.
The average person is like sitting and hanging out with their date, listening to music, and going like, "Man,
Yes.
the specific riff, musical theory, da da da." Like,
People literally talk about music all the time. Yes. I've never had a relationship where we didn't discuss music pretty regularly. And not because it's a special interest, just because it's a normal interest. Like, and it's so ubiquitous that it might happen multiple times throughout a day. Like, oh, this song is good. Like, you talk about it. I don't know. might happen a couple times a week. It's not like it's not an event. It's not like going to see a movie because it's more easy to do and more common. I can only bond over Vaush, discussing Vaush, watching Vaush, real Vaush head.
come on, you're obviously engaging with it.
Well, because he serves an audiovisual platform, he is more complicated than any of the symphonies.
Because you have like a talent for or an interest in the subject. Not everyone who watches movies is into cinematography, you know? Like, yes, I do that. It's not about
We should introduce Vaush to the Eurovision fandom. Yeah.
whether you do that. Again, use some critical thinking. This isn't about whether or not it's possible to do that. We're just saying on average, if you're hanging out with people, oh man.
On average, yeah. Prove it, you know? It doesn't feel like it's not a normal thing. It's at minimum ubiquitous enough for you to be wrong about this. Like, obviously. Like, what? You're getting pushback because it's stupid. It's just obviously stupid.
Vaush, I feel like you just didn't have many shared experiences like that. Unironically ableist, get banned.
Unironically ableist? When you say unironically, is it ironic in this situation? Also, you say the R slur constantly. Stop it.
I've chilled out listening to music with people before. How thick do you have to be I just don't think you've had the essential bonding experience of sitting in a room choked with weed smoke, listening to a band that I like. Yes,
Choked with weed smoke, dude. Why is he mad about it? Now we gotta light up. We have to light up because every time, in spite of him, it's a trigger reaction. I have to do it. We have to. He's so anti-weed and music at the same time. Yikes, man. No, I'm not anti. I'm just saying that you can't make it a central part of your personality, or I don't trust you. Good.
I have. What are you talking about? Jesus. What about concept albums? What about them? I agree with
What about them? Yeah, like, come on. You can tell. The inflection is getting to a point where it's like, man, I just really am in a corner here, aren't I? There's a pride to this that must be addressed. Like, you're just wrong about this. And I think you would be better served for, instead of ascribing your personal experiences to other people or trying to make what you think is, like, you think that this is some kind of obvious self-evident thing due to, like, oh, look at the amount of money that, I don't know, fucking movies make. Or something like look at the amount of time that people at movies do. Like, it's movies versus music in your head for some reason. I don't know why. Because you can talk about all the things and have lots to say about all the things.
with what you're saying. It's like when people say I am a music fan, it's like, what do they mean? Yeah. Oh, well, don't say that. Chat will say that you're like autistic and don't have a right to any opinion. You're saying that.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, if you're getting people just saying, essentially weaponizing autism against you in your chat, and calling you different things, do you think, this is just some sort of reflection sidebar, do you think that the way you curate your audience and the way that you conduct yourself on stream would lead to their behavior mirroring you in any way? Do you think that they would feed off the kind of energy you give out in this environment due to your influence? Like, do you think that people, streamers, people with audiences, can influence their audiences negatively or positively? And then I would ask you, do you think that this is you reaping and then sowing? I'm just saying, I'm not even an anti-Vaush guy. I like Vaush in general, like 95% pro Vaush. This is the 5% that I really just do not like, though. Like, it really, and it's, I don't know why. I don't get it. It feels elitist. He has I don't know what it, like, and he has to try to debate bro you around it. Like, no, actually, I will logically tell you that broadly, you can't have a deep conversation around music the way you can around movies as a layman. It's like, you can, though. People do all the time. It's just so normal.
Music is an art. If you say that that's like kind of an ambiguous statement. Vaush, can you not have conversations about video games? Of course. Video games have more going on than music, definitionally, because video games contain music.
That is just so silly. That is just so silly. Like, literally, by that logic, the Lord of the Rings thing I said earlier means that the Lord of the Rings is the most possible entertaining thing because it has infinite numbers of ways that you could construe the idea of the music it's trying to convey, right? Or the voices trying. Like, any book, I guess, in that regard would be infinitely more entertaining than a movie and infinitely more to talk about than any other possible thing due to its deeply interpretive nature, right? Because it only takes place inside your mind. But no. Why infinitely? Because your interpretation of that book will not be the same interpretation that I have. But the movie we see, we will see the same people and hear the same voices. But if I describe a character, like if I described, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a character that we only know in a book. I don't know. Fantasy Jack, the hero of the fantasy story. He's handsome. He's got nice skin. In a warm tone that you like. He's got good hair and a style that is appealing to you. You know what I mean? Like you're putting together Fantasy Jack in your head. I don't know what the fuck he looks like. He looks like handsome Squidward to you, maybe. I don't know. Clearly, Vaush could have more discussions on music. He got no clue. Handsome Jack, sure, yeah. Maybe he's handsome. And to add to you, Jake, music has been around longer than movies, perhaps longer than words. Kind of literally longer than language. Thank you for the biddies. Literally, it has been around longer than any sort of written language, for sure. I've talked about this before, but they have old, really, really old Vedas. I think it's in the Rig Veda. In Hindu, they have some of these that they like the speech. The speech is so old, they've been passed down for so long that it is more akin to bird song than it is to like normal human musicality or speech patterns, because it's been passed down so primitively, but pretty well preserved over the course of time in that Indus River Valley and stuff. So very, very interesting. That's us talking about music, though. That's just... Anyway. Can't talk about it. We're layman's, of course. It's not even a special interest of mine. I just like music. I like it. It's not even my top 5 favorite things. I wish birds were real. Me too, dude.
Chat thinks you're saying all music is slop, Vaush. Oh my god, chat's really active here.
Chat's really
Vaush, do you think you don't have to go on a deeper level to engage with and converse about film? Nope, you don't. That is the brilliance of narrative storytelling. You don't need to know anything about cinema or even care about cinema to have strong opinions on narrative, because narrative is a human element that's present in or outside of art.
Yeah, and there's no human element to music, and there's certainly no narrative to any music. Like, hello? Are you hearing yourself? Narrative is all definitely part of... You ever heard Reba McEntire's Fancy? Is it Fancy? Here's a one last man that don't let me down. That's got narrative. It literally is a story. That's just Reba, dude. Think of all the good stuff. What do you think Moonlight Sonata's about? You know what I mean? Like, there are stories and reasons and rhymes to these things. Pink Floyd's The Wall had no narrative until the film. That's right. Jolene, no narrative whatsoever. The band Coheed and Cambria, which I'm not even a fan of, not known at all for their narrative. I am a fan of Lord Huron, all narrative albums. Even fucking Metallica had narrative albums, dude. Fight Club is about how cool Tyler Durden is, yeah. The thunder rolls and the lightning strikes. Bow, bow, bow. Dude, Garth.
That's the whole point. That's the reason why movies, books, television, and video games, you know, art that has a general narrative element, characters and stories and dialogue that you can follow.
Yeah, not music. Unlike music, which is just obviously the most ignorant fucking thing. This is just born out of ignorance, and then like this borderline pompous like idea that you took a couple college classes and you know stuff about music theory, or I don't know. I literally love Lord Huron for its narrative, right? There's so much narrative. I genuinely don't know how. I'm trying to think of songs without narrative. Like they would just have to be. I mean, and even the instrumentals have narrative, right? There's reasons for them. They have titles and they evoke things. There's a subgenre of classical music called the tone poem. It's music with no lyrics that tells a story. Tone poem? Wow. Dunning-Kruger effect, real time. Oh man. Fancy is a cover of a Bobby Gentry song. Bobby Gentry was an S-tier narrative songwriter. Her stuff is full of narrative and highly recommend her work if you haven't listened to her. Hell yeah. Yeah, I really don't... I really don't know. No narrative. There have been people who've worked... We literally listened to Godspeed last night, dude. We were listening to Godspeed last night. Anti-fascist, dude. Fucking anthem for no state. Let's go. These are just vibes too. They don't have lyrics. I just don't get it, man. Why have the bad take and then triple down? Even Hobo Johnson, who I dislike, has narrative. Oh, true. We listened to new Hobo Johnson last night on stream. It was really bad. I thought Peach Scone was cringe, but it wasn't like, it was better than what he has been putting out. Pretty dog shit. Yeah, Hobo Johnson, that's right.
Tends to elicit way more discussion because those are elements of real life human behavior that we all have opinions on. You can't not have an opinion on a subject like the way characters are written because we write our own dialogue. Today I learned music isn't narrative. I'm banning you for 30 days because you have to be so bad faith. Oh my god. Bro, you can have a story in an album. Guys, please. Come on.
He's like gaslighting his chat. What, man? You literally said that music was set apart because it was unlike movies and books because those have narrative. I don't understand. Vaush bans his chat for repeating things he says. I know, right? I don't understand you.
Come on, dude. Do you know how difficult this is for me? It's crazy. It's like you're genuinely making the effort, you know? What about subcultures around music? What about them? Oh, we're not talking about that. Vaush,
we're not talking about that because all of that is evidence against the claim you made that was wrong. We're not talking about that. We are talking about that, actually. I really don't understand. You're upset that people are like right about this and you're wrong. You're wrong about this. This is a bad take. There's nothing about this take that is good.
Books and movies are the same level of general discussion.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, this is the general, when you do this shit and when you're just a weirdo, like, it just reflects on the vibe in general. Now it's like, man, it makes me question your good dudedness, you know? It makes me like, what kind of opinion is this? It just seems like you walked yourself into a corner for some reason on this one. You wanted to be a big man and be like, oh, here's the big opinion, and then you're wrong and you just don't know how to deal with it.
What does that mean? Do you mean how much can people talk about them having read them together? Well, you can't really read a book together, obviously. The most you can do is have two separate people reading the same book in the same room, I guess. It's not really a shared media experience, unless two people are like reading over each other's shoulder or something. But yeah, people talk about books. that they read, like in book clubs. That's the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
But obviously that's fallen off because movies are easier to engage with because you can just sit and watch them and not have to like engage with the text.
What? So, yeah, Sarah and I read How to Lose the Time War, I think it was called. A sapphic time travel story. It was good. And we talked about it. It was nice. I don't know what he's talking about. You can sit and listen to music. Yeah, I don't know. But then when you say that, he's like, I'm not talking about that. And it's like, well, what are you talking about, man? If you're not talking about it when everyone says that you're talking about it, what are you talking about? Are you talking about some very specific thing that you're just having a really hard time articulating? Like, I see some of his chat, and there's just a few people in here who are just like, yeah, I agree. And they just actually don't know what he's saying. They're just like, yeah, I totally agree, dude. Yeah, 100%. Let's try to move on. But most of them are just like, dude, this is bad. God, this is the fucking nasal voice. Vaush, make your medium tier list based on engagement. Maybe that's what chat wants. Yeah, let's do a tier list.
I feel like this is
What's the highest engagement to lowest engagement media so that we can properly analyze whether or not it's viable to put in your dating profile that you're a music enjoyer?
What is happening over here?
like a critical.
The Vaushers need a little bit of Papa Jaku, I think. You guys need to fucking relax. Like, what is happening? Guys, I realize that, you know, you like the debates. I feel like you need a little bit of fucking chill in your life, though. Is streaming the most engaging medium? That's right. I could sing at any time, which includes music. That's music inclusion, which makes me more. They banned the word tumblerinas. Wow, that's a fucking callback.
Thinking issue, you know? This really is a Vaush L, is it? Or is
Yes.
it a 30-day ban?
It could be both. It could definitely be both. Those aren't mutually exclusive. It could be a big fat Vaush L, and then you can solidify it with banning some rando in your chat for 30 days. I just don't get it. As a reformed Vaush, you don't even have to be reformed. You can like Vaush videos. He's not always wrong about everything. This is just so nuclear wrong and stupid and petty and like you see in his face like he's mad about it. So does that make the Dave the ultimate streamer for Daddy Jake? Teach me how. That's right.
Vaush, I'm studying music in college, and many of my friends are various kinds of music majors. You're completely correct about this. Oh, I know I am. I appreciate the affirmation, but I know I'm correct on this.
That person's a liar. This is such Dave energy with all this banning. Oh man, it really is weird.
This isn't an opinion that's separated by knowledge of music versus not knowledge of music. This is an opinion separated by people who are right, like me, and wrong, and probably socially inept and smelly.
Socially inept and smelly. If you are like, music is good and something you can have as a central enjoyment. Yeah, I don't know, dude. This is definitely. I feel like you have. Do you have some kind of like issue with? I don't know. There seems to be a way that he feels like he has to project himself in a way like this. He's an authority on this. It's very weird. It's a weird thing. I must understand why you're like this. It's deeply concerning. What a very internalized way to look at it.
Like some of the people in chat. It's mostly a matter of confidence, I think. Insecurity is what's causing people to disagree with me on this.
Well, how did we get there? Are we just flailing now? We're just trying to say we're just angry and we're lashing out at the people who disagree with us? What is insecure? What? I haven't heard one person get close to insecure about this topic. And I've been reading his chat. It's stupid, but I've been reading some of it. I don't understand. What is the insecurity about this? This sounds like projection. Like you are made insecure because your chat has turned on you for having another bad take on this kind of shit. I don't know, man. This is stupid. Vaush did a thing that I didn't know was possible, and you made Paul's ego look like the cool guy in a situation. Paul's ego is not incapable of being the cool guy in a situation, but in a group of leftists, Paul's ego is unlikely to be the cool guy in a situation. Paul's ego looks fucking dope right now, bro. Hell yeah. Poor Paul's ego. If only he could just have a little happiness. We need to give him like a little Ambien. That makes you sleepy. What's the thing? What's a happy drug? Well, just give him Molly's. I don't know. They make you happy. Microdose Paul's ego with Molly until he smiles again. Cocaine? We don't need cocaine, Paul's ego. We don't need that. That seems... No, thank you. Let's get him a more sustained experience.
Or lack of critical thinking skills. Vaush, people being called out because it turns out liking music isn't a whole personality. They hate to be told that.
What? I think you can be a music head. Without being... What? I don't know. Your whole personality. I don't know anyone who's made music their whole personality unless they're like a career musician. And even then they're like, yeah, I like to cook and sports and fucking politics and talking about... Like, I don't know anyone who makes music their whole personality. This is just a straw man. What is there something beyond a straw man? So there's steel man, straw man. What's over here beyond straw man? I feel like there is a wicker man in between. This is just dumb. A bubble man, feather man, just straw, not even a whole man. A paper man. Ooh.
Liking movies isn't either, by the way. Vaush, bring it back to the example of dating profiles. I like music and I'm really into music theory / composition / etc. give completely different impressions of a person. Yes, I agree. Yeah, 100%. If I saw a person's bio say, I like music, I wouldn't get from that the impression that they were into music theory. I would get the impression that they're into listening to music.
Yeah, so I wouldn't read into it at all. I would be like, they like music. Cool, moving on. I wouldn't think about it at all. So it might actually be a Vaush specific issue here, where he's just dumb. He just doesn't understand any human.
Go.
I don't know why. I don't know why that would upset you or make you be like, well, I'm gonna.
I hope you guys have a fantastic day.
I don't understand this. Yeah, well, when I analyze the dating profile, we can just fucking move on. Don't get where this whole personality argument comes from. If I take you on a movie date, it's not because movies are my whole personality. I don't know. Straw man, stick man, brick man, steel man, source, 3 little pigs. Ooh. Straw man, stick man, brick. Nice. Stoudman, thanks for priming, dude. You're so right. That's definitely true, McPlatypus.
Which is different, obviously. I would be interested in listening to a person into music theory talk about music. You know, I have friends that are into music theory, because that's like a different level than just like listening to the music and having opinions on the music.
It's not. Just having opinions on music is definitely like that can be your favorite hobby, validly, you know. And you don't have to be a music theorist. It can literally be your thing. I just don't understand. Like Anthony Fantano has cornered the market, but I'm sure there's lots of other guys. And I don't think he's a fucking... He just likes music, man. I guess you pick up on music theory if you want to. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Well, it's like weird gatekeeping, and I don't know why.
Much in the same way that I don't really know what I like movies means. Stream is choppy. It's YouTube. OBS is working fine. Sorry about that. So you want everyone who makes music to die. Yes. Vaush, is your point with movies that the subject matter casts a wider net, like one could really engage with the plot while another dissects the score? No. It's that the narrative element of art is the thing that humans have an innate opinion on, basically.
Okay, so that we agree music has narrative means it is involved. It's covered under this umbrella. It's a bad argument. I disagree with even the crux of the argument. Like, you need narrative. I don't know that it's true or even care. But like that, you say that your argument, steel manning your argument. I mean, music is directly involved in narrative all the time. It doesn't matter. So it's in under this. He has to be correct on everything, but he's not right about this. He just has to profess correctness about this until his chat relents. Ugh.
Because the things that allow us to appreciate that are literally hard-coded into our brain as a element of our ability to have social experiences.
I have no idea how you can make this argument and not agree that music is older than all of these forms of media. It literally is. It's the easily besides no, it definitely existed prior to cave art. Like, it just did. Chat will not relent. We'll have to move on to something else. Noise definitely happened first. It's absolutely the first art. Like, birds make it, and they don't have any other kinds of art. I don't know that birds do it for art, but I don't know that they don't either. There's some smart-ass birds out there. We know dolphins fucking sing. We don't give animals enough credit for their like cognition and their understanding and emotions. Like, animals have like real full-ass personalities, dude. Even if they're fucking dumb. Birds use tools and shit. We see music as a communication for birds today. It's in our very evolution. Yeah, it is.
So if you are watching a movie, most of the time, the opinions people come away with in the movie are opinions on the plot, the story, the characters. Because those are the human social elements that we literally have chunks of our brain dedicated to processing.
Okay, so I literally was joking earlier when I read that section of the Wikipedia about how hardwired music is into our brains, but I'm glad I did now, even though we didn't fucking understand a single word of it. Like, it literally is. I don't know. So we already did that. I debunked this on accident. This was debunked. Whoops. On total accident, owned, I guess. That's so stupid.
That's something that humans have, like, a very specific relationship with. Now, you might come away from a movie saying, like, wow, the art was really beautiful, or like the visuals were beautiful. Of course, sure.
Pre-bunked.
But we are just better at and more likely to, on average, outside of like the specialties, right? People who are especially interested in them.
Disagreed. That you need a special interest in music. It is ubiquitous. It is more ubiquitous than movies throughout human history and life. It's more ubiquitous than books. It just is. Vaush is the human equivalent of sitting on your ball sack. That's harsh. That's pretty harsh.
With that kind of stuff. Same with books. Video games, of course, have narratives. A lot of them do. You know, that's just something we like to dissect. So movies can be more slop than music or book because... No, we're not talking about slop. No, I haven't used that word. We're not talking about slop. Any art form can be slop. Vaush, this is wild. You take one position, then when people try to nuance your position, you claim that was what you were saying the whole time. You're not wrong, just buoyant.
Ooh! Got him.
You're delusional. You're fighting shadows.
You're fighting shadows. That's...
Yeah. You're being attacked on all sides by phantoms. Ghosts are choking you out, okay? You quickly, okay? Make your way to some holy water, all right? You shadow boxer. Jesus.
Shadow boxer. I actually don't disagree with that person at all. Like, what an emotional response. You're being attacked by all sides. Like, literally projecting multiple times in this. Yeah, I don't know about this one, Chief. This is a dumb one. This is dumber than the weed one. I know I said that was the dumbest one. This is the dumbest one. Like, at least the weed one was just sort of like knee-jerk stigmatism stuff. Like stigma. But like Music is so deeply human. It's just irrevocable from the experience. Not astigmatism.
Chad is being super bad faith at this point. I don't know. I guess it's the people who have "I like music" in their dating bios. Would you agree that people can talk about music in terms of you can talk about music? What do you mean? Would you agree people can talk about music? Of course, I don't need to agree on that. It's already true. My consensus on the matter is irrelevant. Again, you're asking for my permission. You're either mad at me for the imagined position that music is bad or dumb or something, or you're like insecurely asking, well, it's okay to be like this. You can be whatever, dude. It's fine. It's okay. Oh my God.
You think this is insecure? What? I don't. Yeah, I don't think that was actually addressed. I don't know what this is. It slips off his brain. He's like an otter. His brain is an otter, and chat is water, dude. Just sliding off him slick.
We spent so long on this topic, Lamau. Well, it's not really about the music. There's nothing to me more frustrating than what I perceive as being deliberately misunderstood. Most of my time as a YouTuber has been, from my perspective, fighting like upstream against people who are willfully dishonest when they interpret what I say.
I think that this has to do with your poor communication on this when you think it's actually like ironclad or something. It's either that you're poorly communicating this or you're so deeply fucked up on this topic that you really can't engage with it for some reason. I don't know why. Like, for some reason, this topic is just fucking brain rot. He literally cannot he made an argument that like narrative is tied to the human experience, and like that's true. We do make narratives and stuff, but not more deeply than music. Like literally from an anthropological standpoint. It just doesn't make sense.
I deal with a lot of stuff like that, and for the most
yeah,
part, I
it's
can
your
tolerate
fault.
it outside
I
of the
think
community.
this makes me believe it's your fault. I don't get misunderstood like this. Anyone who misunderstands me is always just trying to, it's like Mail Monday type shit. Where they're just trying to be like, I'm going to clip you. But really, you get clipped.
Because the alternative to tolerating it would be, I don't know, being upset all the time. I will say, though, it does bother me when it comes from within the community, especially on a topic that's not as, like, politically important. Like, my opinions on music aren't really a moral question, even if you thought I had a bad take. This is what I'd consider a relatively trivial subject. We're not talking about human rights here.
It has the juice?
Yeah, it would be. It is trivial in the grand scheme, but I do think that it's fascinating, the behavior over the course of the last 15 minutes. Like, it's just a fucking weirdo stuff, in my opinion. This is just weirdo stuff. Just for fun, I remember playing a cute little game called Wander Song. In this world, it said that music was the original method of casting spells, being so old in the world that the gods literally sing a song, and the song would be the universe, and this is why your bard can cast magic without any spell focus anyway. I thought it'd be fun to talk about. Oh, cool.
So for people in chat to leap out at me with what I think are very bad faith interpretations of what I say, it is very, very frustrating.
It is very frustrating to be heard for the words I'm saying, and then for them to say, are these the words you're saying? And then for me to go like, well, yeah, it sounds bad when you say that, so no, that's not the words I'm saying. And then when you were like, here's actually what I'm saying. It was the words you just said, but now I'm saying them. I don't know, man. This sounds like you're the one that did. You just have a bad take. It's just a bad take. Are these like noodles or something? What's going on with this? What is this?
Expected from Paul's ego, but when a bunch of
noodles?
people in chat are acting like Paul's ego, do you see the issue?
Yeah, right? This is what I'm saying. Like, you made Paul's ego look like the cool guy in this exchange. That's what we're saying. Like, yeah, that is fucking weird. That's why it's a little like, hey, man. Like, I can't believe it. I agree. This guy's a miser. He doesn't even like anybody. He's hoping for Paul's ego would rather the country burn to the ground around him than any sort of like actual success, because he would get more satisfaction about being like, see guys, I was right. It was all fucked from the beginning. Like, he would rather see everything fall apart than see success, so he could be vindicated. Who even is Paul Zigo? That guy.
Move on, please. I will move you on to the nether realm for one day. To be fair, some of your early clips are incredibly... Yeah. Well, it's been 5 years, Unorthodox Monkey. Has chat always been like this since the start, or has chat deteriorated over time? No, chat is probably better than it used to be. However, this particular subject, the music thing, has always gotten people, and I just don't get it.
That's interesting. Let's just, from an objective standpoint, Vaush, talk about the fact that you, from an you're just a drop in the bucket of anthropology here. You are the outlier every time you talk about this subject to your vast audience, right? To other audiences that aren't your own, right? Every time you bring this subject up, you have this experience where everybody basically disagrees with you, except for a few sycophants, right? Do you think if this was another person and you were part of the collective that disagreed with that person, that you would agree that that person was an outlier? You know? Right? That's an argument about popular. But like, this is just anthropologically true about music, so it doesn't really matter. Did Vaush make cynicism his personality? Like, no, not as much as Paul's ego. Certainly not. But nonetheless, he's winning in this exchange. It's that Vaush isn't personally into music. He has to argue that it is a generally correct position, right? And he doesn't understand that he's doing that. And when people are pointing it out, he's like, no band. It's like, yes, you are, though. You are literally doing that. You're trying to, after the fact, make up arguments like, well, narrative is deeply tied to the human experience, which is an argument that if you make, it's a bad argument. But if you make it, then you have to be like, okay, well then, relative to music, how entwined into the human experience is music? And it's obviously deeper than narrative. Music predates language. We know this.
I think you need to explain your point clearly again. No, my point has been clearly explained. A failure to understand it properly is on other people, not on me.
I disagree. I frankly disagree. As a communicator, it is 100% your fault if your chat, who should be on your side in this scenario, like, you literally curated this audience. You have if they're disagreeing with you and you feel like you're not being heard correctly, it is your fault as the communicator, actually. And I took college courses on how to be a professional communicator, okay? So you can take that to the bank, chat. And I actually did. So, I mean, like, and I was on the honor roll or whatever. Honors and dean's lists, which is also true. So obviously I'm the authority on this subject.
I could repeat it an infinite number of times, and there would always be people who would be like, well, you actually mean this. How come Chad is insane about music and smoking weed? There's probably an overlap between the two groups. Also, it's insecurity. I say, a lot of people are coping about being weed addicts, and the people who are insecure about the fact that they are coping weed addicts get mad at me.
So, like, it's literally just the same thing. So he has these few pet things. Like, he's wrong about the weed thing. He gets pushback on the weed thing. And now those two are tied together in his brain. They must be just like, just a bunch of weed heads that are also music heads. Little stereotyping for you from your Beverly Hills fucking suburb. Like, come on, man. Only potheads listen to music. That's right. I'll tell you this. I listen to music a lot more than I've smoked weed. You music stoners. Goddamn music stoners.
Likewise, people are insecure about, I don't know, the validity of their engagement with music, as though I don't listen to music all the time, so they lash out at me. That behavior is almost always a product of insecurity.
If you feel like you're being lashed out at, is so weird and paradoxically, or maybe not. That's insecure, Vaush. To feel lashed out at is quite insecure in this regard, in my opinion. Oh no, Chad is lashing out at me for me saying that you can't talk about music broadly, and when asked to reiterate, you said, nope, You can't talk about it. Not as much as you would about movies, of course. It can't be your main focus. It would be weird. It'd be hard to talk about that as a person. What do you do? Just sit around? Like you just sit there the whole time.
I think people think when you say movies are multi-layered and a lot more complicated, it's less about the complication and more about the presence of the narrative element. And yes, music can be narrative, but if you
music is always narrative, actually. I think music is always narrative. I don't think you can have music without narrative. I feel like it's inherently that. There's a narrative to it, even when you're not intentionally putting narrative to it, right? Like it has context and it has human interaction. Chat's attacking me for saying all their interests are dumb and worse than things I like. Yeah.
don't know the difference between the narrative present in a movie and music, again, you're acting in bad faith. You're being ridiculous, frankly. You're being silly, okay? If you genuinely can't tell the difference between, like, 2 hours of plot and dialogue and so on, versus, like, the narrative infused in an album or, like, a rock opera or something, you know? What's 9 plus 10? 21. So you think saying I don't like music is more info on a person than I like music? Yes. If a person said I don't like music in their bio, I would instantly swipe left. I think that's like incredibly weird, and it comes across as like Redditor behavior to me. You know, like fedora tipping, like I'm too smart to appreciate. I only engage.
Wow. But that's what you're doing, man. But you're doing the fedora fart sniffy. You farted in the fedora to trap the scent, and then you put the fedora and you popped it on. You did that thing. All right, we don't have to watch more of this. I think that's all. I mean, he'll talk about other shit, but that's I'm good. Man, that's just weird. It's just a whole weird vibe. Talking about that is stupid. Yeah, you can't make that a big part of your personality or anything. Okay. Only things that have more stimulus than music, for me, please. Can you be really into like what's something less stimulating than music, but is definitely valid? I mean, there's just so many things. Can you be really into shoes? I don't know. What if you're not even into music? What if you're just into, like, guitar, but just, like, making them? You don't even want to hear them. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Anyway, the vibes are bad, I think, in that regard. I wish that they weren't like that. I would love normal peers would be good. It'd be okay to have them.